so we all attended the College Church of the Nazarene, which was very nice there. And it wasn't too long until we were sitting with Carolyn and my other daughter Ruth. And Carolyn said, "See that tall boy back there in that little group of singers that were up on the stage? That's my Jann," she said. They had never had a date. And probably many, many weeks after that before they had their first date. As a matter of fact, if it hadn't been for my other daughter Ruthie sending money for Jann to make a telephone call to Carolyn, when he was stationed in Alaska, what was the name of that island? Kodiak. Oh yeah, like the Kodiak Bears. Anyhow, so Ruthie, my daughter, sent money some way up to Jann to make a telephone call to Carolyn for one of her birthdays. I can't remember which one it was. So they did, and at first they didn't know what to talk about. Did you finally get started talking, Carolyn?
Echo.
Oh! She said she didn't have to do much talking. He did a lot of it. Wasn't that nice? And then, as fate would have it, we were living in San Diego, and lo and behold, if the Navy didn't find it necessary to move Jann from Alaska to San Diego area. And we happened to have a nice home up there in the foothills, looking up out our dining room window. You could see Mount Wilson and the observatories and all. And we had a spare bedroom with its own bathroom. That was Jann's bedroom and bathroom for quite a while. And so after that telephone call, I think maybe they had been writing back and forth a little. I think so. But when he was stationed near San Diego, why then that's when they started getting together and actually having some dates, you know, in reality. And it worked out very, very well, so that in 1971, Reverend Earl Lee, many of you may remember, the old timers, when the hostages were taken in Iran, Earl Lee's son was one of the hostages. And Earl Lee was often on national television talking about how the parents and others were accepting these hostages being held in Iran for so long. Anyhow, Dr. Earl Lee was the one who performed their wedding in 1971. And what are we now in? I kind of lost count, 2015, if I'm not wrong. Well, when they decided to celebrate their 30th wedding anniversary, they invited my second wife, Grace, and me to 30. Wait a minute. Which wife was I with, honey? Do you remember which wife I was with? Grace. All right. You see, my first wife and I were married exactly 50 years. She had a stroke 4 years before she died. The very year, the very spring, the very week they were having my retirement reception at San Diego, Pueblo Nazarene University. That was the time when my first wife, Hazel, had her stroke. I helped take care of her for 4 years. After we celebrated our golden anniversary, I took her all the way to North Carolina from California, where most of her family lived. Very difficult to build at that time. Why then, she lived about 6 weeks after we got back home. So we did get to celebrate golden anniversaries. But then I married a lady about 2 years later, this lady Grace, who really was a graceful lady. Don't think you knew her. And it was that wife of mine, I believe, that we went on that trip. So I had the privilege. You see, before that, I had taken my 2 daughters to every state in the Union except Alaska. So I had the privilege of taking Carolyn to Alaska. That was her 50th state. And then about 3 years ago, where's my daughter Ruth? My daughter Ruth, who lives in Hawaii, by the way, and she does like to have visitors. Anyhow, my daughter Ruth called and said, "Dad, if I would meet you in Seattle, Bob and his family were living up in Anchorage, Alaska. She said, could we go up there and visit with them and then come back? And I said, that would be great. That would give me a chance then to take my other daughter on her 50th state, the only one she hadn't been in. So that worked out very, very well. And I'm mighty proud of my family. I'm proud of Carolyn and Jann and all of the offspring from that group. Mighty proud of Ruth, and her husband is the head of a school system on the big island of Hawaii. If you've never been there, she would give you an invitation, but you'd probably have to pay your own way. Anyhow, so I just wanted you to know a little bit about the history that Carolyn and Jann did finally get together, and now you've seen the results of it. But you know, it's a very peculiar and an odd coincidence. My father and mother had 8 children, 6 boys and 2 girls. One little girl didn't make it to adulthood. And the first boy to die in each case was the 3rd oldest.
Who's the second?
That's quite a coincidence, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's wonderful how the Pence family and the Dillman family have integrated, and we appreciate all of you people. And pardon me for butting in and taking advantage here of who the MC is. Anyway,